Detective Hudson. Hudson, where were you the morning she was killed? You have an alibi for the time of the murder?
He's with me.
I don't think they allow pets in the building.
He's a highly trained law enforcement animal. He's a little sensitive when you call him a pet. Charlie's a detective. He grew up reading mystery novels and always wanted to be a detective. And then he came to a crime scene, and a canine officer had been killed, and Rex was there and was refusing to leave his partner. And so Charlie took him on for a couple days and then ends up sort of adopting him, and they become partners, and he helps Charlie solve mysteries, solve crimes.
I love the fact that it isn't, like, that Charlie isn't a canine officer, though. I love that kind of, it's almost like a new relationship.
It is, because Charlie doesn't really know how to navigate it. He's not trained. So, which makes it a little bit interesting, because they're starting to figure out how to work together, but there's bumps along the road, and they're trying to, sort of iron them out as they go. But it, gets them into trouble from time to time.
So I guess his background, are we going to get some of that background throughout the season? Is that kind of the idea?
Yeah, we start with getting right into the action. So we don't really start with that backstory. And kind of as the episodes evolve, we find out more and more about the relationship, more and more about the characters. But really, we kind of wanted to, in that pilot episode, really get into the action and get people excited.
Well, I love the fact that the first episode, that the stuff that's happening, I mean, the twists and turns, I thought I saw some of the stuff coming. Yeah. And it still catches you off guard, and you're like, oh, that's really clever. Like, everyone's a suspect.
I feel the same way when I read the scripts, because when I read it, and I'm like, oh, it's him, or it's her. And then by the end, it's usually a surprise. I think they've done a really great job of writing the mysteries.
I also like that the first episode, there feels like there's like the action to it, I guess, of like getting parkour in Halifax. Is amazing.
Yeah, St. John's, actually.
St. John's, sorry.
Yeah, oh, no worries. Halifax is my hometown, so.
I think that's what I was thinking of, to be honest.
But that was actually the first episode that we shot.
Oh, it was the first episode, right?
Yeah, and I mean, some of the stunt stuff is spectacular, and just tuning in even just for that, we have real parkour people coming in to do the stunts, so it's cool. Very cool.
So what's St. John's like to actually shoot in, to do a show there? Because we don't see really enough of St. John's ever in TV. Yeah. There's been a few series, but obviously not a lot. Yeah,
it's, I had never been there myself before. I'd been to Newfoundland, but I'd never been to St. John's. And I love it. It's very familiar to me, because I feel there's some similarities with Halifax. Right. But the people are amazing. It looks beautiful. The landscape is gorgeous, and there's these huge cliffs on the ocean, and it's unique. It's like nowhere else in Canada. So I feel like it gives an opportunity to show that to people who maybe don't know much about it or have never had the opportunity to go.
And does the series explore outside of St. John's later, or is it really just focused right in St. John's?
Just in St. John's at this point. There is, in our pilot episode, a mention of, we go to Bell Island, right, which is just outside of St. John's. But it's basically in the Avalon Peninsula area, right, where everything takes place.
So what's Diesel like to work with? Because I imagine that working with the dog is really something unique.
Oh, Diesel's the best. It's, that's one of the most fun components of the show, because it's unique. I've never had the experience of, I have worked with a dog before, but not in this capacity. Right. Because he's really involved in everything that we do. He's not just off to the side, and we just assume he's there. We actually incorporate him in all our scenes. Right. So it's new technically, and it's also fun because you never fully know what's going to happen, and then you sometimes have these really interesting, magical moments that happen just organically, because sometimes he just does his own thing.
That's cool.
Yeah.
How does that character work throughout the season? Like, how do how do you have a story arc for a dog? Basically, is there a story arc across the season for him?
Yeah, I mean, I think there is. I think he's getting to know Charlie too,
right.
And I think a lot of it is our relationship, and in the beginning, as you said, not everything goes smooth.
Right.
So it's kind of developing the relationship. I liken it to kind of like the no-look pass in basketball.
Right.
And we have these moments where we're sort of, or Han and Chewie.
Right.
They have these moments of nobody else knows what is being said, but they have kind of this, telepathy between the two of them.
That's cool.
Yeah.
What's the? I guess some of your favorite episodes are coming up this season that you can kind of tease.
I love Fearless Freaks, which we mentioned, which is the parkour episode.
Yeah.
A lot of great action in that. The pilot episode, The Hunt, is we go to a bunch of locations that I think look spectacular on camera, and there's a lot of good action sequences in that as well. There's let's see. There's an episode that takes place, has a lot to do with a graveyard, and just a little bit of intrigue. Could there be a ghost involved? Probably not, but you never know. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, last thing I want to know is, assuming second season, where do you want to go that you maybe didn't get in this season? What would you like to see in the future?
I'd like to see more of Newfoundland. I'd like us to go to some places that are that are outside of where we've been so far, and
right.
and showcase Newfoundland a little bit more.
Cool.
And whatever storylines will take us there. Who knows? Maybe Rex goes scuba diving or jumps out of an airplane. Who knows?
Nice. Well, yeah. There's airplane jumping dogs for sure. So
is it really? That's a thing.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think it's I can't remember which side of the Army in the U.S., but yeah, they have a division that has dogs that jump out.
Yeah, you learn something new every day. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, Andrew. Nice talking with you.